Originally, he offered to pay 120 grand per plaintiff in this group lawsuit by relatives of the shooting victims, who said he was defaming them by saying this massacre never actually happened. History is riddled with unexplained events. You can turn back now or learn the stuff they don't want you to know. Alex Jones, you'll remember, is a longtime host of right-wing conspiracy theory thing called Infowars. Yeah. And Alex Jones and our show have never spoken. We don't agree on a lot of things, but he has done a lot in terms of giving us a great opportunity to do impressions, which are sometimes similar to the Nixon impression. Here's what's going on. So
I'm Alex Jones, and to hear more.
There we go. Yes. So Alex Jones is the creator and point man for an outfit called Infowars. Back in the day, Infowars and Above Top Secret were two great websites to find alternative viewpoints and to find weird out there fringe news or conspiracy stuff. Over time, they both got increasingly politicized and kind of weaponized, and they began focusing more and more on the realm of U.S. politics. And this was a conscious decision on the part of those forums. They also became a little more antagonistic toward what we call the mainstream media. And this started to reach ahead in the case of Sandy Hook. For anybody who is unaware, the Sandy Hook shooting was a horrific event in 2012, December 14th, 2012. There was a shooting by a 20-year-old named Adam Lanza. It resulted in the deaths of 28 people, and Sandy Hook was an elementary school. It also just got in the crosshairs of people who believed that the whole thing was made up. So they were going to parents whose children had literally died at a school, and they were accusing them of being part of some grand conspiracy that we looked at back in the day, and there just wasn't much support for the idea. It really seemed like people were forcing a narrative on this tragedy, and it was a narrative that had no foundation, no supporting evidence. And you can imagine this is traumatic beyond words for the survivors.
Wait, so you can't just say anything about anybody at any time?
Well, here's the thing.
But didn't those lawyers like literally say he's an entertainer? He's not to be taken seriously. I think that was in a second. Yeah. Sorry. That was in a different case too, with his like kids or something. Please,
right. That's when he got high off chili.
Right.
Yes. Just quickly, in the case of Sandy Hook, there was real singling out of individuals who were victims, like families in this case, and that's why it's really messed up when you compare it to other instances of a conspiracy where, you know, it's more of a general statement about government agents did this, or, you know, crisis actors in general, right? But there were specific allegations against people, and it's bad.
Yeah. And here's what's happening. So freedom of speech is different from something called defamation. He was being found, he was in court for defamation, and this lawsuit has been going back and forth. Originally, he offered to pay 120 grand per plaintiff in this group lawsuit by relatives of the shooting victims, who said he was defaming them by saying this massacre never actually happened. They rejected the money. A Connecticut judge found him liable for damages in that case. And it goes into what you were mentioning, Matt, not just harassment, but death threats from Jones's followers. Well, Infowars may not be around much longer. Infowars has filed for bankruptcy. They have filed for bankruptcy, and in court records, they call themselves a conspiracy-oriented website and media company. They said they have 50 grand or less in assets, US dollars, and somewhere between $1 million to $10 million worth of liabilities. There were also 2 other holding companies that are pleading this Chapter 11 bankruptcy. The filing with Infowars said there's a, quote, substantial likelihood that once damages are determined in the Texas case, I should mention there are multiple court cases in play now, that they will not have the money to pay the Connecticut plaintiffs because they'll be straight up out of cash. And right now it's unclear what the bankruptcy, what the permanent effect of it will be on Infowars. You can read a ton about this. It made the New York Times, it made NPR, it made Wall Street Journal. But right now, everybody is trying to figure out what exactly is going to happen here. And there are people who are saying, look, this guy is exercising free speech. He's exercising his opinion. But if you can make the case that there is defamation, or you can make the case that someone is encouraging violence against other people, that's a very different thing. You know, if like in this country, it's legal to go out and espouse crazy views. Like it's legal to go out on your favorite street in anywhere USA and say whatever ridiculous stuff you want in general. Like if you go out and you say, it is my opinion that the Welsh are the supreme version of human beings and everybody else is terrible, then you're going to, well, you'll be wrong first, because there's not really any basis to any kind of supremacist argument. But then also what you're doing is legal. And if you make a protest that is like for Welsh supremacy, I'm just picking Welsh people here. I've never run into these views, but if you make a protest for that, or a rally or whatever, then all you have to have is the right permits to do so, you know, because then it's just like a public safety thing. But the conversation changes if you say, I like encourage violence against all people who are not Welsh, right? Or you say we're going to take Wales back by attacking Buckingham Palace or something. Then that gets closer to a terroristic threat, right? And this is what people are arguing about right now. I wanted to look deeper into this, guys, so I went to Infowars, which is still up, and I just want to read this headline to you because I thought you would like to hear this. Did Alex Jones / Infowars declare bankruptcy? Tune in to learn the capital letters truth. They don't write out capital letters. It's just, you know, we're an audio podcast, so putting that in there. Their idea is that this is a takedown because somebody is speaking truth to the power of the globalist agenda, and they're defending the First Amendment. So what do you guys think of that? Yeah.
The chuckle there. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. Like, it's all theater. I mean, you mentioned Above Top Secret. Isn't that the name of the other site?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And Infowars sort of following a similar trajectory. I wonder if they're sort of following the Fox News model, where they realize they can sell a lot of like advertising and make money if they rile people up and become more of like a sort of rabble rouser and sort of create contentious debates and stir misinformation as opposed to disinformation. Well, whatever. Anyway, do you think that has to do with it? Like they realized it was a moneymaker to go that route? Absolutely. Or do you think it was something? Yeah. Okay.
I absolutely think so. It's a profit-driven enterprise. It's not in it just for funsies.